Hi, I'm Jeremy Cavallaro, doctoral candidate, University of Laverne, and I'm here with Marni Fisher, PhD, and Saddleback College. There are a number of theoretical frameworks for educational research. In alignment with a doctoral student's research and role as founder and school leader, this theoretical focus proposes adaptive leadership as a theoretical framework. An educational leader doing research needs a theoretical framework that aligns with theories of leadership. In this case, adaptive leadership is a foundational part of one school leader's identity, worldview, transformational leadership style, and research lens. Therefore, a case can be made to use adaptive leadership as a theoretical framework for educational leader research. As Heifetz and Laurie noted, instead of looking for saviors, we should be looking for leaders who can move us to face the problems for which there are no simple, painless solutions. The challenges that require us to learn new ways. Adaptive leadership suggests an effective lens for educational leaders during difficult times.
Prismatic inquiry was engaged to test how this lens aligned with one particular educational researcher's perspective. Prismatic theory tests information in alignment with Deleuze and Guattari's rhizomatic theory, searching for points of convergence and mapping a phenomenon in order to deterritorialize arborescent paradigms. It also actively searches for academic change that is socially just while also looking for what is hidden or unseen. Examining adaptive leadership as a theoretical framework started through a series of discussions testing the theory dialogically. Additional literature was explored, identifying how adaptive leadership is a theoretically sound lens for educational leadership, particularly within this leader's school. Observations of the school, examining the school's flexibility during COVID, and the ongoing engagement in effective professional learning communities within the school in alignment with adaptive leadership, aligned with the theory. This prompted additional discussions, again testing the dialogic validity of adaptive leadership as a lens for educational research.
Adaptive leadership, a practical leadership theory crafted by Marty Linsky and Ronald Heifetz, encompasses a complex process that facilitates adaptive changes within social systems. Every social system or organization faces inherent challenges or shifts, and adaptive leaders employ specific behaviors to support their organizations, navigate obstacles, and flourish amid change. This capacity to thrive during change makes adaptive leadership compelling for perspectives analyzing education. For instance, kindergarten through 12th grade classrooms often confront numerous challenges, and a highly effective teacher's ability to adapt, evolve, and succeed in such a dynamic, complex environment exemplifies adaptive leadership. Heifetz and Laurie emphasize that leaders must get on the balcony, enabling them to observe holistic system patterns rather than becoming overwhelmed by system complexity. Adaptive leadership entails understanding the larger picture while also managing the chaos at the ground level. When challenges surface, an adaptive leader adopts a bird's eye view, carefully observing the situation and contemplating possible courses of action. Achieving a balcony perspective means taking yourself out of the dance in your mind, even if only for a moment. The only way you can gain both a clearer view of reality and some perspective on the bigger picture is by distancing yourself from the fray. From the balcony, the adaptive leader must also interpret what they are seeing and decide on interventions. This includes interpreting what is unseen. The activity of interpreting might be understood as listening for the song beneath the words. The idea is to make your interpretations as accurate as possible by considering the widest possible array of sensory information. In addition to noticing what people are saying and doing explicitly, watch for body language and emotion and notice what is not being said. The perspective taking is essential for problem solving, guiding the leader to categorize issues as either technical or adaptive. Heifetz and Laurie outline 5 essential steps for mobilizing a team to undertake adaptive work. These steps are critical for leaders to navigate complex adaptive challenges. The first step is to identify the true nature of the problem. Is it a technical issue that can be solved with expertise, or an adaptive challenge that requires a shift of mindset and behavior? Second is regulating distress is key, managing the change process while maintaining a safe environment for the team. Next, sustaining attention on the core issues with disciplined focus is crucial to making progress. Next, empowering the team by giving the work back to them in a safe conflict navigation space that builds ownership and accountability. Finally, protecting minority perspectives and the marginalized voices ensures diverse input is heard and valued. When problem solving, the adaptive leader breaks down the challenge into two major categories: technical and adaptive. Technical problems reside in the head. Solving them requires an appeal to the mind, to logic, and to intellect. Adaptive challenges lie in the stomach and the heart. To solve them, we must change people's values, beliefs, habits, ways of working, or ways of life. While many adaptive challenges involve technical components, technical fixes alone do not address core adaptive issues. Furthermore, some challenges combine both technical and adaptive problems, requiring a combined solution. An additional key aspect of adaptive leadership related to effective instruction is involving others in the solution process. So taking the work off your own shoulders is necessary, but not often sufficient. You must also put it in the right place where it can be addressed by the relevant parties. Sometimes this is within one faction. Other times it means getting different factions within the organization to work together. This principle is particularly relevant in educational settings where fostering effective professional learning communities enhances collective responsibility and problem solving. Once the type of challenge has been identified, it becomes the adaptive leader's responsibility to regulate distress by maintaining a holding environment. The leader must also sequence and pace the work while directing the team, providing protection, offering guidance, managing conflict, and shaping the norms. Merely claiming an open door policy is insufficient. The leader must actively foster a space that is both productive and safe for all participants to engage in adaptive work. A crucial aspect of this process is recognizing the importance of distress in creating disequilibrium, which is necessary for change to occur. Furthermore, without some degree of social stress, the impetus to do adaptive work will be absent. Yet, the level of discomfort cannot be too great, or the group will shun the work entirely. To avoid overwhelming the team members, it is important to balance the tension between change and distress. Part of the complexity of a team is the multiplicity of viewpoints, which can promote disagreement and the avoidance of conflicting perspectives. Teams need a safe space for adaptive conversations that reflect on challenges while planning ahead. Alignment conversations that discuss resistance while sharing concerns, and courageous conversations that correct behaviors. There is also a need to observe the big picture, while also considering the complexities underlying issues. This is followed by interpreting observed behaviors, including facial expressions, body language that suggest unspoken or hidden elements. Finally, the leader may need to intervene, considering that any proposed steps may also need to adapt over time. Finally, the shared purpose should connect to any interventions while also considering needed resources. Heifetz and Laurie suggest that the adaptive leader give the work back to the people, empowering them to problem solve and navigate conflict. This supports a person-centered approach, which breaks from the banking model of education while focusing on the individual in ways that question systemic inequities. Finally, mobilizing the team requires protecting the unpopular or minority voices, which may be ensuring that all voices are heard, including those who do not agree with the majority. However, advocacy would also consider that in order to address systemic inequity, this also means protecting the voices and perspectives of those who have been historically marginalized and silenced, ensuring that perspectives reflecting cultural variability and differences of ability are included.
Adaptive leadership builds on a layered system of theoretical foundations, suggesting that since education involves wicked problems, adaptive solutions are needed. Educational challenges can be technical, adaptive, or combined, requiring adaptive approaches to develop effective solutions. Effective adaptive leadership mobilized schools as well as families and communities to address difficult issues. Applying adaptive leadership concepts as a theoretical lens for viewing classroom instruction can highlight the significant leadership behaviors of highly effective teachers. By examining the teachers' balcony behaviors, their observation to action processes, and their delegation of work, we gain valuable insights into their adaptive leadership qualities. Further research into these aspects could significantly inform teacher preparation, mentoring, and professional development, enhancing the understanding of teachers as adaptive leaders in educational settings. So, some questions to consider. What are other leadership theories that might be useful as theoretical frameworks specifically for educational leaders engaged in research? In what additional ways could adaptive leadership advocate for educator, teacher, and student voices? There are several key aspects of adaptive leadership as an educational research lens that align with advocacy. The empowerment of educators in a system laboring under authoritarian demands pushes back against the banking system. The person centered focus shifts away from the applications of neoliberal and marketing practices in education. Finally, the protection of voices pushes back against the limitations on DEI while ensuring the non dominant perspectives are valued. And here are our references, and thank you.